Hello, everybody. This is Noah and John, and we are from UrbanDigs, and it is Monday, so you're going to get your Brooklyn weekly market update, John. There's so much going on out there. Interest rates, stock market volatility, a crazy New York City market. Johnny, I'm looking at supply 2634. Looks like it dipped down just a little bit. Show me that chart.
Yeah, that is a tiny dip down. No, that's about 0.6% if you're keeping score at home. And really, honestly, that is not what you want to see for Brooklyn supply at this point. This market is, well, I should say it could use all the supply it could get these days.
Yeah, I mean, it's actively updated supply. So, of course, there are more listings on the market, but they have not been updated by the broker in a period of time. So that I counted in this, which brings me to a point right now. If I'm a buyer right now and I'm looking for value, John, I just want to sneak this in there. Take a peek at the stale stuff. Take a peek at the stuff that is not fresh, that nobody's looking at, and they're lowering their price. Maybe there's some value there. Let's go switch on to Brooklyn pending sales. That's our measure of demand, 3,449. That does not go down. Johnny, show me that chart.
No, and that's the crux of the problem, right? This is up almost 2% week over week. And really, pending sales, it kind of had a little bit of a blip toward the end of March, and it's been on a steady march now. And we're rapidly approaching the peak of the busy season here as we're entering mid-May. And, supply is really not where it needs to be, but pending is doing exactly what you would expect pending to do.
Yeah, Brooklyn has demand. Brooklyn has demand, and if I am a buyer in Brooklyn, and then the rental market's not helping me out at all. I look at the market pulse right now. That is not a favorable statistic for buyers. On the flip side, if I'm a seller and I'm not selling, you got to lower that price because this market is active. 58 days on market. I mean, that is something right over there. Johnny, let's go over to the weeklies right now. I am in Brooklyn. I'm looking at supply. 301 things came to market. That ticked down. Show me that chart.
Yeah, and that's the problem in a nutshell, right? Down 2% or so for weekly supply week over week. And really what you're going to want to be seeing is you're going to see that number well above 300. It was around 350 or so last year. It'd be great if it was there again this year right now. But, so far the theme of this year on Brooklyn supply has been lower than low. I mean, it's really on a weekly level, it's certainly higher than it was back in 2020 during the pandemic. But when you look at overall inventory, it's really not that much higher. Active inventory is not that much higher than it was at the pandemic's low. So it just needs, as you said, Brooklyn is in demand, so it needs supply.
Yeah, and I mean, everyone's saying, "Oh, look at the rates, look at the stock market. There's some volatility there. How come there's not a drop? How come? And I just wrote a piece about this. I want to say it right now. Sugar high for New York City markets for all those that subscribe to UrbanDigs and our premium research report notes. That is what I think is going on right over here. There's details in that report on what I think is going on. Will it last? You got to read it to know what's going on. I have thoughts on it. Until then, we'll just report the numbers. Johnny, let's look at Brooklyn contract signed over the last 7 days, 221 things. That also ticked lower. Show me that chart.
Yeah, and that's kind of surprising. I was expecting that to sort of tick a little bit higher, or at least sort of stay there. It's not a big tick down. We're talking about 9 units. That's about 4% on the week. But, I'm surprised by that number down, Noah. I still think there's more to go here in terms of Brooklyn contract signs. I wouldn't be surprised to see this number start ticking higher in the weeks to come. But, I guess the question in my mind now certainly becomes, I know this market's a little bit crazy, but have we seen the peak in weekly Brooklyn contract signs? And it's way too early to call that, but it's something I'm watching.
Yeah, I mean, if it's not the peak, it's got to be close to it. I mean, I don't know how this lasts forever. I don't know how it sustains forever. Again, if I'm a seller, I am acting accordingly. Anyone that's willing to listen, I'm acting accordingly in this market. This is like a gift, a bonus gift for you. And the fact that New York City did not do what other markets did, so there's some other forces going on right over here, but they're not going to be immune forever. And this market is just sell side friendly. And one of those reasons, as Ben Willig brought out on that interest rate conversation on our videos we put out a few days ago, is the rental market. And the Brooklyn rental market is no joke, Johnny. This is some serious stuff going on right here. And if you are a renter in the Brooklyn market, you're not getting it, Johnny. You're not getting it. Take a look at this red line, right? The red line is going to show you the Brooklyn median ask. The Brooklyn median ask, it is now going above that channel. I love, John, how you put that channel in there so I can get a perspective. And take a look at Brooklyn new listing inventory. Here's April. We put in May at a lighter color because obviously May is not complete yet, but it is low.
Yeah.
And that's what they're dealing with.
And that's it. First of all, that's the extrapolated figure for May, right? So the May inventory, it could be higher, it could be lower, but we're just kind of guessing based on this pace right now. And you're right. I mean, buyers and renters right now are caught between a rock and a hard place in Brooklyn. There's little to no inventory on either side of the spectrum. Rents are going up. They're really tough. And based on the difference between where April inventory coming in for rentals is and where May is, it's not that big. I mean, you look at the jump in May in 2020. I mean, that's a little bit of crazy to think about, but you start thinking about what that summer curve is going to look like. Even between even in 2021. I mean, where was the inventory? It was up close to 1,500 a month.
Yeah.
Where are we? We're 500 short of that, and that's extrapolated. So there's a long way to go on the inventory side in rents and on the supply side for sales in Brooklyn.
Yeah, I almost feel like, the rental market didn't start recovering until later. And you think about what the sales market did. It whipsawed one way and then it whipsawed the other way. And I think the rental market it's whipsawing the other way. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's having its day and it's just going a little too far. But it is what it is. And these markets do what they do. And the market's going to do what the market wants when the market wants to do it, Johnny. And because we got you and me, we're going to sit here and we're going to analyze this data so that the brokers go out there and do their business. Johnny, thank you for pulling up all this data. This is wonderful stuff. That is John Walkup. I am Noah Rosenblatt. We are both from UrbanDigs. Don't forget, if you guys got questions, we got answers. Our forum is right down here. If you want any of the reports that John whipped up today, they're going to be in our research notes in just a few minutes right over here. Other than that, this has been your Brooklyn Weekly Market Update. We'll catch you next time.